freelancing is fine at Array Digital, but there are some specific rules. What's happening? It's Erik J. Olson. From the very beginning of going into business for myself, I realized that a lot of the people that I was asking to come onto the team, either as freelancers or later as full-time employees, they were freelancers as well. I started off as a freelancer, and so it's kind of just built into my DNA. And the people that were attracted to work for my company were turned out the same. Kevin was also started off as a freelancer, and the people that he attracted early on also freelancers. So we have this culture where, if you want to freelance, it's totally cool. Most companies, especially in corporate America, actually restrict you from freelancing or moonlighting or whatever they call it. You are just straight up not allowed to do that at those companies. And what that means is that you either suppress your need to get that kind of fulfillment out of your non-working hours, or you do it anyways and you don't tell anybody, or you don't tell your boss or whoever. You basically lie. You say you don't do it, but you do it. I definitely did not want that here at any of the companies that I've created, and in particular at Array Digital. So we actually have built into our employment policies document a freelancing section where we say, look, it's cool. If you want to freelance, that's awesome. But here's some rules. Now, these rules, I don't have them in front of me. I want to go from memory, but I think they're important to establish some ground rules. So freelancing, it can be detrimental to you. How can it be detrimental to you as a business owner? Well, one, if your folks are spending more time freelancing, or their mind and their energy is freelancing instead of doing what it is that you need them to do for the job that you're paying them for, that's a problem, right? Here's another problem. You clearly don't want them to compete with you. So the last thing I would want is to get into a situation where, like, I'm trying to get a website job and my web developer is also bidding on the job. I mean, that's absurd, right? We can't have that. So we have some rules, I just kind of hinted at two of them. One is you're not going to do it on the job, period. You're also not going to take paid time off, right? I mean, I'm not going to pay someone paid time off so they can go work a second job or freelance. No, that's not the way it's going to work. So, I hope I never find out that someone took the day off, I paid them, and then they went and they worked another job. That's not going to fly here. You need to do this on your own hours, not on paid time off or on the clock. So you can't do it during, hours. You can't do it with paid time off. It can't be in competition. So anybody that we're working with right now, anybody that has been a prospect in the past, they're off limits. We've also recently updated that policy so that there's a time limit. After a client leaves us, there's a time limit where someone, one of our folks can help them out with digital marketing or whatever they want to do. But there's a time limit. So we don't want clients to like quit us and then the next day they've hired one of our folks freelancing to work for them. That doesn't make sense for us, right? So, and why does it not make sense? Because there could be a very high likelihood that they quit Array Digital to go with the cheaper version of Array Digital. That doesn't make sense. So we can't allow that. There are some other rules as well, but basically, like, what we're trying to do is, by establishing these rules, we want to make sure that we outline where there would be a conflict, and to avoid that at all costs. You're not going to do it on Array Digital time. You're not going to do it on our resources. You can't hold a meeting in the conference room with your freelancing prospect or client. That's absurd. No, it's freelancing. You do it on your own time, on your own computer, on your own internet. You're not going to get paid by us when you take paid time off, and there can't be any conflict with in the marketplace. So like that's our policy. I think it's worked very well for us in the past. Sure, it could change, but what I like about it is that we've explicitly allowed freelancing, but we've also very explicitly allowed the rules for getting that freedom to freelance. Because again, a lot of other companies, especially in corporate America, it's just straight up not allowed. And when something's not allowed, the forbidden fruit, easier for me to say, the forbidden fruit. If you can't have it and you want it, it may lead you to, leave the company and go, work for someone else that allows it. I want to be that company that allows it. I always got more out of freelancing than not freelancing. I brought a lot of the techniques into the companies that I work for. There's a lot of positives to freelancing. So if you have a company, I would highly recommend that you allow freelancing, but also make sure that you define how you're going to allow it. That definition, those rules are important. Hey there, it's Erik J. Olson. I wanted to let you know about my book, $1,000,000 Journey: How to Launch a Seven-Figure Business. This is the story of what it took for me to go from freelancer with no clients, no employees, no revenue, to growing a $1,000,000 business. It took me 8 years and I made a lot of mistakes. And all of those mistakes, and more importantly, lessons learned, are in this book. And we have chapter takeaways, 5 to 15 takeaways that you can apply right now to your business. Check it out on Amazon, $1,000,000 Journey by me, Erik J. Olson.